This is Terry Kurtz online reporting on Victor Valley, High Desert, and Mojave River Valley events, activities, entertainment, sports, and history. When rock and roll arrived with 1954's Rock Around the Clock, radio stations would not play rock music, reasons being the lyrics rang rebellion and defiance, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, or ballads sang of teenage angst and romance. The message was as appalling to the older generation as the music's harder driving beat and louder wailing saxophones and guitars. This dissertation is being made in response to a request from high school students doing a research project on rock and roll on the radio. The student's instructor is the California History Teacher of the Year, who also happens to be my niece. This is mentioned because her dad, my older brother, was very instrumental in influencing my career as a rock and roll disc jockey. I began DJing at age 14 in 1960 at a radio station in rural Nebraska, a station whose format was country and western and MOR, middle of the road. A disc jockey back then typically had a nickname and a theme song. My brother suggested I become the Rockin' Rebel Rouser of KBRX radio, and my theme would be the Dwayne Eddy twangy guitar instrumental, Rebel Rouser. By the early 60s, MOR stations had begun programming pop music in the afternoon to appeal to the younger audience, which had become the majority of record buyers based on sales of 45 records. I got to play mild rock hits on my Top 30 Countdown show, the Top 30 determined by Cashbox magazine. I might have to substitute a more mellow hit if a hard-driving rhythm and blues rock song made the charts, but that never posed a problem for me. I could play Elvis's Hound Dog if I wanted, although the station manager preferred more mellow Elvis oldies. When it came to oldies, though, Jerry Lee Lewis, Chuck Berry, and Little Richard were strictly off limits. My most confrontational and frustrating situations came while DJing on Apple Valley's KAVR radio in the 1970s. The program director was retired military, Air Force, who disdained anything rock played on the station's MOR format. He went so far as to disallow anything by Simon and Garfunkel because he thought Garfunkel sounded too much like a vulgar word. When a new album arrived, he would listen to all the songs, and he would take an orange crayon and mark through the grooves on any track he did not want played. I had brought a number of my own 45s to play on my weekday afternoon show, since KAVR's oldies library lacked any Buddy Holly or Roy Orbison or British Invasion records, far less Chuck Berry or Marvin Gaye. On weekends, if I slipped in That'll Be the Day, or Oh Pretty Woman, or a Beatles' She Loves You, or I Want to Hold Your Hand, I was sure to be reprimanded. To ensure my oldies 45s would not be heard on KAVR, the program director removed them from my personal stack of records and gave them to an Air Force DJ who played music for the base's dances. Well, the program director didn't know I was friends with that DJ, who called to thank me for donating my 45s to him. I immediately retrieved the 45s and took delight in sneaking one or two back into my show, leaving the program director mystified and befuddled as to how I got those classic rock hits back. This was 1971. At the time, Nilsson was coming off his hits, Everybody's Talking, and the number one hit, I Can't Live If Living Is Without You. The eccentric Nilsson released an album entitled Nilsson Schmilsson, which I had been given a couple of promotional copies when I made my regular run down to RCA Victor Records in Los Angeles. When I listened to the Schmilsson LP, the last song on side one caught my attention. You're Breaking My Heart was the title. It became notorious for its opening line, You're breaking my heart, you're tearing it apart, so F you. the F word, the vulgar one, that sounded too much like Garfunkel to our program director. So I left a copy of the LP on the program director's desk with the note, "Give a listen to Cut 5, Side 1. It summarizes your preference in songs we can play." Back in those days, even AM top 40 stations shied away from anything too hard because their sponsors did not want listeners hearing anything offensive. Plus, the Federal Communications Commission banned a radio station from airing any programming it deemed indecent or unsuited for children to hear. Even a folk song by the Kingston Trio had to muffle their lyric, "I don't give a damn about a greenback dollar," by striking a loud chord where damn was to be heard. Tony Orlando and Dawn hit number 1 with "Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree" in 1973. That was the first song AM stations were allowed to play using the word damn. The whole damn bus was cheering. FM radio became the refuge for harder rock and heavy metal enthusiasts because FM then was commercial-free. Longer versions of songs by Led Zeppelin, The Who, Jethro Tull, the Allman Brothers ruled the FM airwaves in those early days. Speaking of the FCC, an on-the-air announcer or DJ had to pass a written test to receive a radio operator's license, much the same as a pilot had to pass a Federal Aviation Administration test to qualify to fly. Radio stations were subject to unannounced inspections by an FCC official who had monitored your programming before entering the studio. Then, the first thing the official did was check to see if the announcer had a license, to inspect the program logs to see if commercials matched up to what he had heard, and then inspect your meter readings log. Meter readings had to be entered every half hour to ensure the station was not broadcasting with more power than it was licensed for. It was not until 1991 that the Supreme Court ruled the FCC ban on radio programming was unconstitutional, that it violated freedom of speech. Terry Kurtz here, throwing out an invitation for you to catch up with High Desert Sports Activity, your High Desert Sports Report, showing 3 times every day on Victor Valley TV, 7 and 11 every morning, 4 every afternoon. We hope you'll join us right here on Victor Valley TV. Apple Valley Unified School District secondary schools have been in the forefront statewide when it comes to receiving distinctions for academies that prepare students for career.
The Distinguished Academies, in the state of California, I believe there's about 480, maybe close to 500 what are called California Partnership Academies, grant recipient, and we have 2 on our campus. And both academies, our computer and media pathway, as well as our MAHST, medical and health science technology pathways, were recognized and actually awarded the Distinguished Academy.
Partnerships and teamwork from private sectors, civic and education leaders contribute to the success of these academies.
I think it's some of the little things. You know, we have these great industry partnerships that feed us, and we try to reciprocate, giving them quality applicants. But even lately, we had, my understanding is we're now the only district in our local area where the Board of Trustees has actually approved a drone protocol to meet all the FAs, which for our computer and media pathway is huge because the aerial footage they can get now is just phenomenal. And I know up at the district they did a lot of work to get that policy written and to have the board support it and put that in the hands of our kids is just phenomenal. So those are the little things that I think really set those academies apart, above and beyond. So
consistency, continuity, stability, and teamwork at the highest levels of administration have been key to the Future Forward agenda.
We have a very stable, experienced school board. Our voters clearly saw that in the last election and re-elected the incumbents.
Future Forward in 2018 includes the Granite Hills High School introduction of its GREAT Academy.
The GREAT stands for, obviously, Granite Recording and Entertainment Arts Training.
The thing that we found that
we didn't necessarily think was lacking, but that we could better service our students, was to offer them a connection with what they're learning in our programs with what they can actually take with them into the job market.
I have so many opportunities with the Great Academy because we have Pro Tools, we're getting Adobe Suites, and Pro Tools is basically our studio professional recording equipment. It's what the top artists nowadays use.
We will work with the dance department to provide music for them. We'll work with the drama department to provide music for their shows. But more than anything, it's also to record our students. We're working here on trying to give an opportunity to our students and a space for them to explore their creativity and create music.
Apple Valley's Ag and FFA program, the only four-year Ag and FFA high school program of its kind in California, is having a new state-of-the-art veterinarian science barn built. From where did the funding come?
4 years ago, we started fundraising with our Ag Boosters and Ag Advisory Committee. We were able to generate in 4 years about $80,000 before the school district stepped up and wrote a grant called the CTE Incentive Grant, quite a large sum of money, and $300,000 of it is going to go to build our barn. So they picked up the major bulk of this. The $80,000 that supporters have raised is going to go to furnish the barn inside with new equipment.
Further details on this project on a forthcoming Apple Valley Unified School District Future Forward report. In this TKOL exclusive, Joseph W. Brady offers insight to the workings of a successful business enterprise in this message to his Bradco Companies' existing clients.
So Terry, I want to send this tape out or this video out to all of our existing clients and help you understand, I think, where we are currently in the market. So for those that I have not met, my name is Joseph W. Brady. I'm proud to be the president of the Bradco Companies. Work very closely with Francisco Diaz, who's our vice president, who's been here for 12 years. Latrice, we call her LJ Johnson, who's been here for well over a year, who's licensed but helps us on the administrative and marketing side. Our front office manager, administrative assistant Samantha Allen, and lastly, Pam Shimmers. Most notably, I'm accompanied by my friend, a longtime associate of our firm, 8 years, and that's Paul A. Casilla, who is a broker associate. So I want to reach out to our clients right now. I'm filming this message the week of Thanksgiving to send out to each and every client for a multitude of reasons. People are very concerned about where the economy is going, what impact are interest rates going to have, where's the high desert economy going to go? And as somebody said to me recently, Joe, I've been through 4 of these up and down cycles. I'm kind of tired. What do you think? Should I get out now? And I gave an answer. So let me give you a little bit of background. I really want to be sure that we're very clear with our clients because we're going in some not uncharted times, but I think from my standpoint, having been doing business out here for 36 years, I moved from Santa Barbara on May 13th of 1988, but having lived here for 34 and a half years, having gone through the downturn of George Air Force Base that cost our valley $1 billion when we had 125,000 people, to the very quick economy that we had that took us through 2007, the Lehman Brothers meltdown, to what happened between 2008 and 2010, where we had 26,000 families lose their home and 26,000 homes foreclosed, where we saw the median price go down from $330,000 to $105,000, and now where we have a median price of $400,000. We all realize that interest rates are high. We all recognize that inflation is real. But what's kind of odd this time around is that the high desert has 5 or 6 really exciting projects. They're not all going to happen at one time. Some people may not be here to see them through their fruition. But let me just tell you this and give you a couple updates. In Hesperia, the former Rancho Las Flores project, which consists of 9,633 acres, has now been re-entitled from a project called Rancho Las Flores to Tapestry and now Silverwood. That entitlement gives the developer DMB Development. So DMB is probably the largest master plan developer in the country. One of their original projects was the Mission Viejo project down in Orange County. They have projects throughout the country. We are so excited that they're here. We work very closely with their senior partner on the ground here. His name is John Ohanian. John has built thousands of homes in multiple master plan communities with golf courses. But some of the money that has come through was raised by Ray Huerta. That's W-E-R-T-A. Ray was a former president of the Irvine Company, but former chairman of CB Richard Ellis, or CBRE. Why is that important? They had a soft groundbreaking on February 23rd that I attended. Terry Kurtz, who's filming this today, and I and others have been on the site 3 times. We've seen where they are moving 10 million cubic yards of dirt. They are preparing for 1,987 of the 15,663 lots that they hope to have ready in some way, shape, or form. Some will be finished, some will be graded and compacted. When they open up their model complex to 6 national builders, they believe sometime between first quarter and second quarter of 2024. While that is going on, they have to they wrote a check to the city of Hesperia for $12 million, which gave some of the monies to Ranchero Road, which is being widened from 7th Avenue up to I-15, and then the Silverwood team has to spend $8 million to widen from I Avenue to 7th. So it's a real deal. It's not in the works. It's not planned. It's under construction. Their timing with interest rates going on up is rather challenging, but they're going to do just fine. On the industrial side, if you're in Hesperia and you take a look at the project that Ken Shear and Mark Milikovich with Covington Capital started, they had 232 acres. They were entitled for 3.2 million square feet. 3 buildings, all of 1 million square feet. The Modway building is done. That's 1,025,000 feet they're occupied. 2 other buildings are under construction today along Caliente. You can't miss them on I-15. And just north of that, in the city of Hesperia, we have about 11 million feet of additional space coming in the market. Sometime probably in the next 5 years. Some things may slow down a little bit. As you go further north and you get to Adelanto, the Adelanto Industrial Park continues to grow, maybe not as fast as it did. Jimmy Previty's built probably a million plus square feet of industrial space for the marijuana cultivation group. We just closed the largest building deal out there in years. We represented molded fiberglass, and that was $11,800,000 deal that was done with my partner in Adelanto. I call my partner in Adelanto Paul Casilla. Paul's the king of Adelanto, so any help that he can give you on out there, great. Then when you get to SCLA is the former Southern California Logistics Airport, 5,000-acre facility, second longest runway in North America, just a little bit short than the Denver International Airport. So far, over 5 million feet of Class A industrial LEED certified buildings have been built. The majority of those were initially built by Sterling Development, Dougal Egan and Chris Downey out of Foothill Ranch. They did sell 3.4 million feet to Covington Capital, again Ken Shear, Mark Milikovich, last November for $270 million. Yes, $270 million in cash. And their development partner, who they had somewhat inherited, or Prologis had inherited them, now has full control, 100% control of the base, working in conjunction with the city of Victorville and the Victor Valley Economic Development Authority. Prologis is not only the largest industrial developer in the world with over 1 billion square feet of space. They just closed in the last 3 months with Duke Realty, $27 billion, 160 million feet. They're in 19 countries with 6,000 corporate clients. So imagine you're Kim Schneider, who oversees this space. He's the president of the Western Division. He works with Tyson Chaves, and you can just send one email out with a marketing package to 6,000 people around the world in 19 countries and tell them about SCLA. Pretty impressive. Amazon has just completed a building well in excess of 1 million square feet. Looks like they're going to wait for a year to occupy that. Mars has a pet division that they just finished a building just shade less than 1 million feet. Iron Mountain just completed a building, and there's another one under spec. So Jay Dick and the guys over at CBRE, Dar Longo, have done very well in representing. I'm pleased to say that not only did we do the biggest lease out there, but we've done more leasing and industrial than anybody. We did the United Furniture lease at 505,192 square feet. Just north of that, let's go to Barstow. On October 1st, the city had their 75th anniversary. at that time, BNSF, which we have been following, Burlington Northern Santa Fe, the biggest employer in Barstow, finally announced after all these years of tracking. So Francisco Diaz, every single month in our office, tracks every purchase that they've made. They have now completed 3,700 acres out of their 4,500 acre industrial park that they're going to develop. It's a global a park for trains. They're going to unload out of the ports. They're going to bring stuff through the Alameda corridor, break them down, and then reship them out. They are starting through the entitlement process with the city. The city of Barstow is starting a brand new general plan. So that's really exciting. That project is estimated, BNSF has said that at the minimum they'll put out that they'll invest 1.5 billion in infrastructure, and it will create approximately 20,000 direct and indirect jobs. Coming back to the northern portion of Apple Valley, we have the busiest Walmart distribution center in the country. Next door, that's 1,200,000 feet right next door, big lots. In the last 18 months, opened up 1,350,000 square foot distribution center, and there's just a lot of great stuff going into Apple Valley. Sprouts is coming in with a new store. Raising Cane's is going. They're going to be over on the east side. We have heard a rumor that Amazon Fresh is going to come in, which I believe that's probably true, and I just see some great things. Finishing it off with what's going on in Hesperia, I just see a lot of great things going on in the high desert region, that while interest rates are going to go up and slow things down, and there may not be as fast as a moving housing market as we should, our median price is $400,000 plus or minus depending upon the day of the week. Sales have slowed down. They haven't stopped, so we're not going through the same catastrophe and problems we had between 1998 when George Air Force Base was set to close and when they actually closed in 1992. I think that we've got a lot of positive things. What I can't guarantee is value. So we've gone through this recent market where we really started to see value starting to move on land. I think that's going to slow down a little bit until we get through this next probably year with interest rates. At the end of the day, I finally have decided I want to reach out to our clients and tell everybody that the world's not coming to an end. Terry, one of the things I want to get across to our existing clients is we spend a lot of money in tools, like everybody. We have a great aerial program. We have the best comps of anybody. We have CoStar. We spend $1,000 a month on. We have LoopNet. I am not cheap about doing this. Having been involved in over nearly $900 million in sales, I know how to steer this ship. But one of the frustrations that I know our clients have is they want to hear from us sometimes weekly, sometimes monthly, sometimes quarterly. And while we are servicing, roughly 100 properties in all types, many years ago we went out and we purchased a program called Client Look. And one of the issues that Francisco Diaz deals with is that we want to communicate. But today we live in a world that is very hard to pick up phone and then send out a letter and to do all the data. So we went to Client Look, and we spent about $3,000 a year with Client Look. And Client Look allows you to be on a Caribbean cruise around the world. 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever you're doing, you're able to go online and tap in and see exactly where your property is. So I asked Latrice, we call her LJ Johnson, who will absolutely be by far, no doubt in my mind, the most successful female broker to ever work in this region, because I'm training her and she's a great partner to work with. I asked her to put together kind of an overview. I'm going to give this to Terry Kurtz so maybe he can decipher it. It says, with the advancement of technology, the Bradco Companies continues to implement innovative ways to provide resources to our clients. One of these resources is a 24/7 internet access to their property activity through Client Look. It is easy for clients to set up their access. Once their property is listed and input, we will send them a Client Look email to set up their access. With using Client Look, our clients can, 1, see what's happening with every property they list with us at any time they want to see it. 2, see who's interested in their property. 3, have access to files related to their property. 4, can collaborate with our team and even upload files to see for us to see. Can create activity on their activity report. Our clients who are watching this video can click the link in the description and watch a quick video on how easy it is for them to use Client Look to see their property activity at any time from anywhere. So Terry, I'm going to ask you to work with LJ, get the link on here so that people can do it. I really would like people to do it. You know, I know how frustrating it is. I mean, we see a shortage of people around the country. You call somewhere, you're put on hold, you're paying this, and you don't feel like you're getting service. I get it. I get it. So we're trying to do everything we can to be sure that you have access. But one thing is for sure, you can email me 24/7. I will get back to you in a reasonable period of time, and I will answer every question I can conceivably do. That's my guarantee to you as president of Joseph W. Brady, Inc. I'd like to wish everybody that's watching this, a happy Thanksgiving. You'll probably get this after Thanksgiving, a happy holiday. But I feel very confident about where the market's going to go. I think now we're going to get back into a real market. And hopefully people won't panic. I want to reach out to people to tell you not to panic. The 60th edition of the Bradco Ideas Report is due to come out, we believe, sometime around the 3rd to 4th week of January. We are probably 9 months behind. It will probably be as big as our last one, which was 52 pages long. It's our 60th, so we've been around. And we're looking for a good year. I'm not planning on the same big year that we had this year. We set some records this year. We did close on we represented a developer. We unfortunately can't announce it, publicly. I can and my clients. We did 160 acres recently, somewhere here for $14 million in cash. And we did the building for molded fiberglass out in Adelanto. They had 8 facilities nationwide when they closed that down. We did that for $11.8 million, and that was done with Paul. So, again, we wish you a very happy holiday. And on behalf of Francisco Diaz, Paul Casillo, Latrice Johnson, Samantha Allen, and Pam Shimmers, we are going to be open through the holiday season. We will be closed on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. We will close the day before Christmas and the Monday after Christmas, as well as New Year's. But we are still here. Feel free to call us at 760-951-5111. If you can't get a hold of anybody, you call me at 760-951-5111, extension 101. I'm going to ask Terry Kurtz to put my email down there. Sometimes it might take me a day or two to get back to you. Emails are always the best. Always put a subject line in there, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. We are a small team. We are no longer the size we were. And I'm going to close and tell you one thing. I know many of you, while you shop around for a broker, and you should, you need to talk to people about their experience up here, have probably talked to all my competitors, and they probably have told you the same big bad lie for the last 5 years. I'm moving out of town. Let me look you in the eye and tell you this. I'm not moving out of town. I'm building a home, a second home with my wife, Deborah, who has been a partner with me since we created this company in a little town called Prescott, Arizona. I don't plan on going anywhere, and any of my competitors that tell you that I am, they're not telling you the truth. I just ran for re-election. I won my 4th re-election at Victor Valley Community College District, where I'm very proud to be educating our next group of students and hopefully entrepreneurs in the high desert. I'm not going anywhere, so don't let anybody tell you that. Have a great day. Thanks.
Terry Kurtz here, throwing out an invitation for you to catch up with High Desert Sports Activity, your High Desert Sports Report, showing 3 times every day on Victor Valley TV, 7 and 11 every morning, 4 every afternoon. We hope you'll join us right here on Victor Valley TV. Terry Kurtz Online was brought to you by Down Home Grill in Victorville. Call 760-241-4663 for delivery, drive-through, curbside, or pickup. Down Home Grill, corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road in Victorville. Bid fast and last. World-class auctioneers. Valu Quality Truck Bodies. Family owned and operated locally since 1954. The Bradco Companies. Joseph W. Brady's Bradco Companies. The High Desert Mojave River Valley's longest standing commercial brokerage firm. We Got 'em Tees. Your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery design. We Got 'em Tees. Silverwood. The developers of the Silverwood Master Planned Community support the events, youth activities, and programs of our High Desert Mojave River Valley communities.
Serious legal problem? Don't go it alone. The other guys have attorneys just waiting to blow you away. Contact Iwanzek. Get the proper defense by going on the attack. Iwanzek Law Firm. Trial lawyers for serious problems.
And by the Community Table Restaurant in the Holiday Inn in Victorville. The Holiday Inn, conference and convention center for the high desert, and favored destination for travelers and visitors to the Victor Valley. That's a wrap on this edition of Terry Kurtz Online. On behalf of Victor Valley Television Productions, thank you for watching. We hope to see you again next time around.